did because I wasn't sure. So thank you for that because I knew you two were friends. But
I
yeah,
got you.
if we can get as little collateral damage as possible, that's always good. But hi,
Before
Ash and
you
Rabbi.
out,
But I'm gonna drop out,
I
and I
just
just
want to
wanted
tell
to
you I
say,
love you before
oh,
you drop out. You know I love you, and you know I'm here if you
thank you
need
so
anything.
much. Right back at you, and
All right.
just I wish everybody the best and healing and everything. So I'm gonna sleep well tonight.
That
Good.
makes me that
All right, bet. All right, let me add Troublemaker back in here. I'm talking to you, Sydney. Bring that ass back in here. That Ash.
Yeah,
Um,
just if go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, Rebel. God, Rabbi. I'm sorry. My bad. Jesus Christ. I'm
oh,
sorry.
Rabbi, it's Hana's fine.
Rabbi.
I
Rabbi.
just would like to say that yeah, that's okay. Hana's fine. Um, because as you know, Pat, I was in your live not too long ago where I talked about how Nuggets had invalidated my indigeneity, and I want to clear up that Nuggets called me a couple days ago. We had a conversation for about 3 hours. Now, I am under ministerial privilege, which is something I take very seriously. So, for the most of our conversation, I cannot discuss it. And that goes for anybody who talks to me. Anyone who comes to me and says, Rabbi, I need to talk to you, they get ministerial privilege unless they say there's something I can talk about. So, what I can tell you is that Nuggets was wholly accountable to me about that interaction where I felt my indigeneity was questioned by Cindy. She was wholly accountable, very sincere, very apologetic, and committed to making sure that she educated herself better about indigeneity and making sure that it was not something that happened again. Everything else I cannot speak on because she has ministerial privilege with me. But as a Jew, we offer something called teshuva, and everybody is entitled to that. Everyone is entitled to make amends, and hold themselves accountable, and do better. Now, that doesn't mean the people have to forgive. That is not I'm trying to make teshuva, you have to forgive me. That is not what it means. But it means that everyone has got the ability to try and do better, to hold themselves accountable, and to prove that they mean it when they're saying they're going to do better. For me, Cindy is going to be done with her teshuva when she's faced with the same opportunity she had with me and makes a different decision. When she gets faced with the same thing she had with me and she chooses a different path, then I will know that she was sincere. I feel she was sincere. As an Indigenous woman, I told my elder I felt she was sincere, and that I feel like she really is trying to go forward and understand that you can be pro-black. I am very pro-black, protect all black women, but that doesn't mean you have to be anti-Indigenous to do it. Just like I can be pro-Indigenous and not be anti-black. Intersectionality is a huge thing. So that was it. I'm not involved in any of it because I know how to stay out of the Department of Black People business. Um, but I will say I am here for anybody who needs it. I will always listen to anyone, and I will always offer to support to anyone, even people who I've had issue with. It doesn't matter. My job is I'm a rabbi, and everybody sometimes need a rabbi, even if you're not Jewish. And I will literally talk to a wall. If a wall needed my support, they could get it. I would just give it to them. That's just how I work. I hope sincerely that everyone, I've been in this life for a long time and I see a lot of healing and a lot of work being done. And you have no idea how much joy that brings me as somebody who hates watching people be hurt and hates watching people hurt each other and feel that kind of pain. So I'm going to go back to frying my chicken. And listen, and if you, to Pat, baby, you need to drink more water. Are you okay,
What?
honey?
Yeah,
Are you okay?
yes, I'm good.
I'm worried about you. Okay.
I'm
Listen,
fine.
I love all of you. That's the truth. I hate seeing every one of you guys get into fights with each other. It's like a mama watching her children fight. I love every one of you, and I hope you heal and you put in the work. And I really appreciate, Cindy, that you called me and took that accountability and did that work with me. You have no idea how much that means to me as an Indigenous person. So I love you guys. I'll be here listening. I'm gonna go finish dinner.
All right, baby.
And if you need me, okay. I'm sorry. Yeah, go ahead.
And
No, I'm saying okay.
no, and I wanted to say thank you to even affording me that grace and that opportunity to have that conversation. Because I'm not necessarily in culturally, but I'm not necessarily entitled to that. And I appreciate that you took 3 hours unpacking that. And I appreciate you.
Yeah, and you have my number, so if you need me, I'm here. And I'll give my number to anybody. Anybody who wants my number, they can have it. I'm 24/7
Oh,
full service
Don't
rabbi.
do that. Don't do that. Don't just give it. Don't do that. Hell no.
That's kind of my job, Pat. That's my job, is to be of service to people. Y'all have a good night. I love you.
Love you too, love.
Oh,
All right, Ash. Oh, I got it. Yeah, my bad. Ash, your turn, they, them. Go ahead.
Yeah, for the same reasons. You know the deal. So a few things. It's been stated quite a bit, actually, that, I posted a retraction and this and that and the other. Now, just to start off, did I make that video? Yes. Did I say shoot the bad ones was said? Yes. Because that's what I heard in the audio. In fact, that's what thousands of people heard in the audio. And what hasn't been mentioned by anyone is the fact that, like, a day later, maybe two, but nearly immediately after that, the first person to mention it was shoot the fair ones and not shoot the bad ones, I said, you know what? That's a very valid point. And I said in the video that I made, without anybody having to tell me or prompt me or ask me or prove anything to me, that's a valid point. Now, it's unclear in the audio what was said, but if that is truly what was said, then it is not a death threat, but it is still a threat of violence. Because literally, if we're talking about AAVE and literally hundreds and thousands of people who speak AAVE and use AAVE across the country, all recognized it as, yo, we're gonna fight, we're gonna throw hands, like, shit's gonna happen, shit's gonna go down. And that was the conversation we all had. So I said that in the video, in the second video, and we know that at least one of them saw that video because one of them referenced that video, because she said, when I said that I hadn't heard that term in a long time. So to go around and say that I posted that after all of these other people had made that correction is categorically false. And to go around, and we're talking about misrepresentation, to go around and not tell the actual story and the actual truth. And again, if we're talking about misrepresentation, that is, I'm sorry, that's not just disingenuous, that is a fucking lie. Again. Because one person out of thousands commented, and I was the one that was like, you know what? That's a valid point. And I said it. And in my pinned fucking comment, I was the one that said, a single word can make a difference. In my own comments, I am the one that checks people in my comments on mocking the way that people talk or pronounce things. Because like most of us here, well, I'm not going to say most of us, but like a lot of us here, I am neurodivergent as fuck. And I have a speech impediment. So in my own comments about people that I don't fuck with for any reason, I am the one checking people about mocking the way that they talk. Because that's what we're not going to do. And even in that video that was quoted by one of these people, but conveniently not spoken of because it doesn't fit the narrative, I said quite clearly, I am not mocking the way this person speaks. I am simply stating it's unclear what was said. And I was very deliberately clear throughout that entire video. However, that's the one that is conveniently cherry-picked to say that, oh, these 5 people are coordinating. That was 3 weeks ago. The second video where I said all that, that's the one that conveniently was not spoken about, even though we know they are fucking aware of it. But for almost a month, they choose not to fucking talk about it. Now, if we're talking about truth and honesty and misrepresentation, then again, that's not just disingenuous, that's a fucking lie. Not to mention the blatant, flagrant attempt to portray AAVE as some monolithic fucking language. Oh, if you don't recognize this phrase, you don't speak AAVE. Because how it was presented was not, this is what I meant when I used this phrase. It was, this is what it means. And the fact of the matter is, it means particular, very particular things most places. But apparently you meant it in another way. Okay, cool. Got you. But that's not how it was fucking presented. And many, 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 many fucking people verified that time and time again. So again, if we're talking about misrepresentation, let's talk about it all. And that has not been done. Not previously, and definitely not in this fucking live.
Go ahead, Nuggets.
Real quick, and then I promise you I'm done. I'm sorry. What was it? We shouldn't plot through the app and DMs and lives to coordinate it when literally none of us have ever been all in each other's DMs. 2 out of 5 of these people we've never been in DMs. 2 of these people we've never been on a live. These claims are being made again with zero proof, no actual proof, again and again and again on their videos. Now, we have shown time and again that when we say something, we will back it the fuck up. And I myself have shown that if I am incorrect or if there is a valid point that needs consideration, I'll put it up there myself. But for almost a fucking month now, I think it is a month now, all we have gotten is lies and accusations with no proof at all. When proof is requested, we're not comfortable sharing it. We're told to wait. We're told, oh, it's coming, and none has been given because none exists. So please, by all means, Anybody, you want to put my name and my face and my partner's name and my partner's face out there, fucking come with it and come correct. Bring the fucking proof. I'm done being nice. I'm done being silent. I'm done being gracious. I'm done with it all. I get being mad. I get being heated. I get being whatever. But if you're going to make accusations, as someone in this panel has said time and time again, the burden of proof is on the person making the accusation. And I'm done.
More sensitivity nor your gum issues. I would say it's.
Go ahead, Nugget.
Does it burn me?
I don't know what, if anything, I should say because
Nothing.
lesson learned from addressing BIPOC, not my place. So I don't have anything that I should say.
Nuggets, real quick, I don't mean to interrupt you. I'm sorry, I apologize. To the people in the comment section, stop misgendering Ash. The pronouns are they, them. Please stop with the misgendering. If you guys are lost into what's going on, I'm not going to explain it. Ash is not going to explain it. Voodoo Bay, Nuggets, no one is going to explain what the hell is going on. This live is not for entertainment purposes. This is only for the people who know what is going on. Okay? I want to make that very, very clear. I was texted and told that people were misgendering, and I saw it myself in the comment section. People are misgendering, so please stop with the bullshit. I said what I said. Stop misgendering, or I have to block you. Thank you. Go ahead, Nuggets. All right. Go ahead, Nuggets.
Like I said, I'm not going to address a BIPOC individual.
Okay. Go ahead, K.
Callie's fine. It's pronounced Kali, but Callie's fine.
Oh, okay. All right.
It's cool. Thank you. Thank you. Firstly, thank you for having me on. Thank you for the space. I'd like to say that first and foremost. My comments specifically are actually addressed to Nuggets specifically. So much respect and love to everyone else in the box, especially Voodoo Bay. I wish I'd met you before because you sound brilliant, and I hope I get to learn more about you after. So thank you for the free education, and thank you for a lot of the things that you put forward because I really appreciate it, and it has a point to what I'm going to say overall. So my pronouns are he, him. I'm Indigenous Sami and Roma. So Nuggets and I met just before this and during. It was in a live where I was scrolling through in the morning and came across a live, and I clocked a comment that spoke very specifically about indigeneity and minority groups in Europe. So I replied to that comment specifically. And Nuggets, you invited me up to the live to speak furthermore on those comments. And I did. There were two black queens that were there. There was one, and then one had left, and then another one came in. I remember that one had recently had a baby, and the other one, I believe, is Jamaican Black Barbie. I came in and did what you asked. I spoke very specifically on the indigenous and minority issues in Europe. I explained my comments that I was replying to someone who keeps weaponizing us. And I explained the different issues that we go through in terms of systemic racism, historical, eugenics, all of these other sort of things. There were a few things after that that you did that I feel you need to be held accountable for. First one being, when I realized that the conversation overall was in regards to African Americans, I apologized to both and said I was not aware of what the overall context was. You invited me into that space to speak. They were correct for what they were saying. I turned it to you as the host, as the white host, for having me come up and explain those comments in that environment. And it was like that wasn't where I should have been. You stated to me several things. The first thing you stated was that your proximity to the Romani give you license to speak on, Roma. It does not. It does not. Your proximity to any ethnic minority that you are not a part of does not give you license to speak for us or over us. And that is what you did. I am Sami and I am Roma. You are not either. But you felt it within your position to speak over me. The second speak over me. The second thing you did is you said to me, there's a couple of things you said. I don't, your last words to me were good luck with your absorption into whiteness before you blocked me. That's the last thing you said to me. Not appropriate. Incredibly hateful. Incredibly hateful. Several people need to learn more about anti-blackness to educate ourselves. There are spaces where black folk need to learn more about anti-indigenous to educate themselves. But this is a BIPOC thing that we need to do collectively together. And you as a white person bang in the middle of that, tone policing and being a bit evasive and erasive on different issues was the problem. And I jumped up to actually speak to you on this because one thing that I found really frustrating, and I mentioned it at the start with Voodoo Bay, there are so many beautiful, incredible black women that I could have been educated by that I haven't been, and many like me haven't been, because you've put yourself in the middle. The initial conversation with all of this was about Indigenous people wanting to hold Modern Warrior accountable. And there was indeed anti-blackness that was happening, but that education should have come from someone like Voodoo Bay. It shouldn't have come from you. It should have come from Breezy. It shouldn't have come from you. You were putting yourself here and then facilitating different things in different directions, and that was part of the problem. And I understand that when it comes to like colonial concepts worldwide, we all have different things. If you live in a Western country, I'm in Scotland, if you live in a Western country or based on like colonialism as a foundation, it's a constant thing we all have to work on and unpack, whatever colour you are. It's a constant thing that we have to do. But as BIPOC people, we have a way of communicating and leaning on each other which is not always understood by people like you. And there's nothing wrong with that, it's just what it is. And there's a plethora of education and wealth and knowledge that we will not benefit from and grow from if people like yourself place yourself in the situation. And that is what I wanted to come and say to you today, and I've been waiting a little bit of a while to say it. I can understand that you're wanting to take accountability and you're wanting to learn. And I understand that, I hope you do. I mean that, I hope you do. The defense of, you know, for example, Breezy, I've never had a crossed word about Breezy. I don't mind Breezy. I haven't really, to be honest, it's only now and then in pockets I've seen them pop up recently. Do you know what it, because of, again, if you weren't part of this, I could have learnt from Breezy. I could have heard things from Breezy. Many people like myself have not had that opportunity. That's something I feel that you need to take accountability for, and I hope you do. And thank you everyone for the space. I appreciate you giving me the time to speak.
You're welcome. Go ahead. Go ahead, Nuggets.
I do want to apologize to you for definitely all of those comments. Definitely all of those comments. And I definitely apologize if you said that gave me authority, and I know, intent and impact. But one thing I did say is this is what I know. So I absolutely did speak on that, and I am not the authority on that by any means. So words definitely matter, and I definitely overreached for sure, 1,000% in that regard, and I do apologize for that.
Nuggets,
Very deep.
when you're done, I want to be able to say something. I'm gonna need everyone to mute when you're done. Okay.
Okay, understood.
Okay.
That is a very, very deep slight, especially at the things that we were talking about in there. And I'm not going to sit here and make excuses for, oh, you offended someone or any of that or anything like that, because if memory serves, because I want to make sure that I'm remembering things as they happened. I think you made a couple of comments that we were puzzled by, and I asked you if you wanted to clarify. I think is how that went. So, and I definitely apologize for putting myself.
To clarify, they were very specific to Roma people. I was stating that we are not a monolith and we are very different from one place to the other. So sometimes, just because you say meet Romani in America does not mean that it's the same in France, Germany. Like, we have a thread that's the same, but we're not all the same. So that's what that was, I think.
That was the comment. I think that was the comment that she's having a baby was making to you.
Yeah,
right?
and they and then that's when you said that you were not Roma, but your proximity to it in that moment could give you the entitlement to speak on it, and that was what that I disagreed with. And I mean no disrespect to you, but the tone of which I spoke to she's having a baby was very different to you, and that's something I was also trying to put forward. If you notice the tone of which the conversation between the BIPOC people were having and then yourself, it was different, because I'm very well aware that maybe people look at me and assume the wrong thing. I'm very well aware that not everyone knows what Indigenous Sami are. Unless you've seen Frozen 2, you've never heard of us. And I'm very well aware that most things people know about Romani people are stereotypes. So I was thankful at the time for you giving me the opportunity to come up and educate on my people in that specific instance. And that's not what happened. It was the second person that came up and said that I was centering myself. And I said, I'm confused how I'm centering myself when the host has asked me to speak specifically on my people. And I had no idea that this whole other issue was happening in regards to black issues in America. I joined because you asked me to join. Do you see what I mean? So like, and if, for example, Pat was hosting the live, and again, no disrespect, I don't think Pat would have brought an Indigenous person in when black issues were being spoken about. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah,
Whereas
and
yourself,
right about
you
that,
did.
because Bay corrected me on that earlier, because I didn't even, without even thinking, I almost did that, and Huda Bay was like, no, Pat, this is black women speaking right now.
Yeah.
Let us have our time. When we are done, then bring everyone else in.
Yes, and that's
Right.
what happened. And I'd written this in the comment section earlier on to yourself, Pat. I was like, there are 3 black women having a conversation. I'd like to address Nuggets at some point, but please, can I do so after they've had their space? That's not for me. And that is something that I feel like in that initial instance, Nuggets, and again, it's no disrespect, that you're not going to read or see because you're not part of it. As BIPOC people, we give each other those spaces, and then we have intersectionality around it, and we make mistakes, we all make mistakes, just like Voodoo Bay said, but we try. Someone who is very tone deaf to the nuance of conversation, hosting that space, it's not the way to go. I'm sorry. It doesn't work. We see it doesn't work.
All right, I need everyone to mute real quick, Voodoo Bay, just real quick. Nuggets, I have to address this because I have to be neutral, but We know you apologized to Carnival Gal and stuff like that, but it took damn near 2 hours to do that. This individual here came in, spoke for 20 minutes, and you apologized like that. I have to be fair, and I have to speak on that. Voodoo Bay, you're muted. You're muted. You're muted. You're muted. You're muted.
Can we acknowledge, and I'm not defending Nuggets, but can we acknowledge that we've been on this live? A lot of work has happened, and maybe where she was at defensively or emotionally when we first got on here compared to where she is now and the ability to hear and apologize may be a little different. So maybe that's part
true.
of
That's true. I didn't think about it like that. No, you're right. I didn't think about it like that. You're right about that. This is what I was speaking on. This is what I was speaking on. Nuggets. Go ahead. You go. Go ahead.
The other part of that, that obviously they did not have the opportunity to hear is after I had blocked them, I actually did immediately, like, I turned to the audience and I was like, that I was just in my whiteness. I knew right then and there what I had said and done. And again, and also like you had mentioned, I tone policed you as well in that regard. Yeah, I definitely, that was very, very.
Not Voodoo Bay. I'm sorry, Nuggets. I do have to interrupt again. I'm sorry. Voodoo Bay does have a point. It does take a while. Like yeah, she was in defense mode a couple hours ago, so it's easy. It may be perceived that it's easier for her to apologize. But Ash was just in the box 10 minutes ago. He didn't get an apology. Sorry, they didn't get an apology. Divergent was in the box 2 hours ago, and she wasn't acknowledged at all. You see what I'm saying? The ableism was not addressed correctly. No accountability was taken for that. And Ash, it may be confusing to everyone that's in the comment section outside looking in, but I understood exactly what Ash was talking about because I know what's going on. Mm-hmm. And Ash deserved an apology. And Ash didn't get it. You simply just said, I will not be addressing BIPOC creators. Individual in the second box is an indigenous person. That's BIPOC. And you apologized immediately.
Because of how I present to you.
You see what I'm saying? So this is where it comes off because you are white. This is how people are going to look at you. Again, no one can say what's in your heart. No one can tell you how you feel. But this is the problem that people are having with you. Go ahead, Nuggets.
The reason I did not apologize to Ash is that he is still perpetuating what has already been discussed. I apologize. What they were discussing is something that has already been discussed and brought to a close by the two individuals who that issue was between. And it was not out of convenience that anything was left out, because even in that video, there was still violence levied. And I am not going to subjugate my girlfriend to make an apology when that is still continued violence and going to cause continued violence at Bree. And that is the bottom line.
I understand. But in my opinion, Ash still deserves an apology. People may not agree with it, but I believe they deserve an apology. Whether it was acknowledged or not, resolved or not, I get exactly where you guys are coming from, but they still deserve an apology. That's the entire point of the live, right? Resolve. That's the entire point. Ash is very much involved in what's going on, and they deserved an apology. Divergent felt you were being ableist to her. She deserved an apology. You know what I mean? None of this is going to be able to move forward if we just stop think and be like, okay, all right, you know what? They got that. I had an L take. Let me make this right. Instead, you're coming up. Well, I'm not gonna say you come up with excuses, but it's perceived that you are coming up with excuses. You get what I'm saying? Like, yeah, Carnival Gal got her apology. It took a long ass time to get it. And to Voodoo Base point, yeah, we can give you the benefit of the doubt. It took you a while because you were obviously defensive. You're in defense mode. And void because Ash was just here in the box 10 minutes ago. They did not get an apology. And Divergent was in the box with all of us when this live first started. She didn't get an apology. You get what I'm saying? This individual was in here not even for 10 minutes. Boom. And that's not a white person, that's a BIPOC person.
Yeah.
And they even acknowledge, yeah, since you apologize a little too quick to me.
Yeah.
Go ahead, speak.
I was just gonna, so I thank you for pointing out, because there was two things I wanted to point out. So one of those things is that, and like I was saying earlier on, we can all decolonize. We all have work to unpack, all of us, especially if you live in a Western country. And what Pat said is correct. I do genuinely appreciate the apology. What I wanted to say, just like from that, is after that live, and I think Alyssa let you know, my account was mass reported, and I had slurs all over my account, and 9 other Sami, well, there were 9 in total, but 2 were Roma. People have left the app because of followers of yours on your account throwing hatred and slurs from that live with invalidation, disrespect, racism, hate. I nearly came off that live. I ended up being in a live, seeing Alyssa, reaching out, like, oh my God, something happened. I don't know what's going on. I woke up in the morning to like a final report on my account. All of my videos relating to anything in terms of Sami culture, all reported for hate speech. But I'm just trying to talk about my culture. And that all came from that. The damage that was done, not just to myself, but other Sami people and 2 Roma, has meant that they are not coming back on this app. I need to understand that. And I would say, like I said, I appreciate the apology. I'm one for action. I'd rather they had the apology. I'd rather the elders offended would have the apology. Because our elders, 2 of which were elders, by the way, 2 of which were elders. Do you know how hard it is to get elder Sami people on this app, on social media? It's fucking hard. It's really hard. That's gone. So that's a resource for connecting Indigenous, current Indigenous, practicing Indigenous, that's gone because of that live. And the 2 Roma, I don't blame them for leaving. They present a lot darker than me. The the racism, the anti-brownness, I think, I suppose the colorism that they were facing. I say colorism specifically because they don't identify as black. I need to point that out. But they're closer to be kind of like in Pat's pocket, if you know what I mean. They're a lot darker than me, is what I'm trying to say. They received even more hate than I received looking like this. Do you know what I mean? So it spread. That one live spread. And the darker the people in the group were, the more hate they got. The more damage they received, and now they're gone. Okay?
Go ahead, Nuggets. And then let Mayo on Mayo Crime speak because he's been waiting for like 18 years. Go ahead, Nuggets.
Is there a way to get in contact with these elders? Is it okay if I follow you to get that information?
Wait, Nuggets, who you speaking to?
What was that? I'm sorry.
You said something, and then you muted.
Yeah, no. Yeah, no, that was it.
Wait, I didn't hear what Nuggets said at all. I was
She was
telling
asked
her.
to follow and get the information for the elders so that she could contact them or type of amends for them leaving the app. And so that's what she was asking.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I don't know. I don't know if Nuggets is seeing the comments, but a lot of people who are indigenous do not like that idea. At all. I'm looking right at it.
I said that Nuggets could follow and she could ask. I didn't say that she'd get it.
Gotcha. Fair enough. Fair enough. Go ahead, Mayo.
I just want to say to you, Cindy, directly, I fucking genuinely, you have a DM. In your DMs, it's probably from TikToker, now that I'm blocked, where I told you I dead ass look up to you. And this whole thing has been crazy to even have to open my mouth about anything that's been said or done or whatever. And my only thing that I've been saying throughout all of this, which I think has been largely echoed throughout this entire live, I've been in this a little bit on and off, but mostly since the beginning, is that when the conversation starts and the conversation doesn't pertain to people that look like me and who look like you, it confused the shit out of me. Why you were there, and I understand there's been reasons for all of that and everything, but as it's continued, my only point that I've said in every fucking video that I ever said about you, and again, I tried to reach out to you privately, and I felt like I was getting condescending and like rehearsed answers as to why you were involved in this and as to why you were saying things about this. And so I made a video, but my one point that I've kept above all, and I've never talked about Breezy, I've never talked about Ray, I've never talked about Modern Warrior, I've never talked about anybody involved except you, and I want to make that very clear on my page. Since that live happened, I have not talked about anybody except you, for good reason. Because I felt like, and I think we can both talk about this in the space we hold, right? And what we talk about and who we interact with, right? That it perplexed me that you were talking about things that did not seem to involve you. And I understand, right, that Breezy was up here, she said her whole piece, and I understand that you guys operate as a unit, but the one thing that I kept mentioning was that even though you guys operate as a unit, right, and Pat's mentioned this in this live already, that even though you're a unit and you operate together, if Breezy says something and if you say something, those are going to be perceived in very, very different ways, especially depending on the meat of what you're saying, right? And so yesterday was the first time where I went off a little bit. I'm going to be honest, I will be completely transparent in saying I was really hurt when you blocked me. Because I felt like I was trying to come from a genuine place and be like, hey, you just need to stop. Because we talk about the same things. And we can have conversations, and I think our conversation went a little bit right? But at the end of the day, if you have an opinion and you are going against people that do not look like me and do not look like you, it's going to be received in different ways. And that's the only thing I said. And that's why I was really confused when it went to straight, oh, that person's blocked. And then I had videos reported and shit. I don't know if it was you because TikTok's just crazy. But like, the only point I made in anything to the most recent video that I have said about you is that you should stop talking about this. because it has elevated to a point where I watched this live since it started, and there have been many nuanced, difficult conversations happening in communities that we do not belong to. And it was weird to me to see you as the figurehead of those conversations and being brought up in a lot of those conversations. And I only tried to get you to stop. And it was because of conversations I was happening with Carnival Gal, who was up here, what was happening with at all, which I still have not done, but just to defend and hold space for those people. So I guess that was my issue.
Before anyone speaks, I'm only hosting this for like 15 more minutes. I feel like I try to sit tough it out. The toxic masculinity learned and growing up my whole life is what keeping my ego massive. But my black
Mayo, can you mute?
Sorry.
Mayo, can you mute?
oh
I just
no
want
one.
to
Oh, go ahead.
I just want a clarification on something really quickly, because I feel like I missed out on something actually that was said, and I want clarification on it. Nuggets, did you state to Ash that you were not addressing or speaking to BIPOC people?
Nuggets, respond.
Pat, I will. Give me a second.
People are saying you did.
I understand.
I didn't hear that.
I understand people said that. Just give me a second.
Mm-hmm.
The reason why I did not address Ash is because I am not apologizing to Ash. I have made it very clear I am not going to subjugate Bree and apologize when they got up into the box and continued the already completely dispelled issue that Bree was not being violent towards Booker.
This is acceptable. Did you say the statement, however, that you were not addressing BIPOC people?
I did, let me clarify, meaning I am not going to discourse with you or argue back and forth in that regard. But if there is an apology where I cannot genuinely sit here and say I apologize for something that I do not feel apologetic, accountable for. With you, I had already felt that, and I did not seek you out to give you that, even though after that live, I did say that, and I did apologize to them in there. However, I never apologized to you. I do feel that I definitely have accountability to you and your community, but I do not feel the same about Ash.
Okay, so I did not hear you say the statement that the words that you specifically used. Because you used those words specifically, you will not have access to my elders or my community. And I would advise anyone Indigenous in this room to not give you access. Have impact. You will not have access to our people. No. I did not hear you say that before. If I'd heard you say that before, you would not have gotten grace from me. So thank you for people for pointing that out for me. You will not have access.
Oh fuck.
Take it as a learning experience, and I wish you well on your growth.
It would have been much more effective to just say directly, I'm not going to address you, Ash, and just kind of left it at that. And that's where your wording becomes very important, because you can't hide behind, I'm not going to address BIPOC people. I'm not going to address you, sir, because it is very valid that he was addressing something.
They.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
It's okay. It happens.
They had already it was coming in here and addressing something that we had already discussed. That's absolutely correct. We had discussed that. We had come to a resolution. There was some resolved, and they were addressing that. So that's absolutely a valid point for you. But saying I'm not you directly, not BIPOC, and that's where the issue. Because again, you're Nuggets. My advice to you, sincerely from me to you, you need to step away from the table altogether for a while. And like Breezy said, deal with your Black and Indigenous community that's off this app, so you can get some education, some support, some understanding from the people that actually care about you off this app. And so you can understand the difference between having a plate and having a seat at the table. And just, this will never happen again. And you need some education that has to happen off this app, so that those kind of things just simply don't happen.
Because you're doing something without even you realizing you're doing something. Because you stated this sentence, that you would not be communicating with BIPOC people. I am BIPOC. You're looking at me like I'm white. You keep looking at me like I'm white, and I'm not white. So if you're not going to converse with BIPOC people, you shouldn't be speaking to me or my elders. Do you think that we are white? We are not white.
I honestly don't think that was it. I think it was more or less she uses it to kind of hide behind, or like as a way of like, I'm a white woman, so I'm not addressing BIPOC people as a defense. Do you get what I'm saying? Not so much that
I think there's defense there. I do.
Yeah, and I think that's kind of the difference, because I've seen her do that before. Because that's like, I'm a white woman, so I'm not addressing. But when you're doing that and you're talking to somebody who is Indigenous, then you put a blanket and it becomes a whole nother violent problem.
Exactly. It's just a different context, and that was, thank you for that. And that was the one that I was explaining, because if you say you're not going to communicate with BIPOC, but you're talking to a BIPOC, there's one big difference between Ash and I. And that big difference is how we present. So if you're not going to speak to the Indigenous person who falls into the Black arena, but you are going to talk to the Indigenous person that falls into the white arena. This, by the way, is because we don't believe in colonizer structures and shite. There's an anti-Blackness within yourself there that I feel like you need to take a look at.
Before I let before I let Mayo speak, Ash came in defending themselves because their name was brought up. That's not a crime, and they're not wrong for that. Hence why I let them up, because the name was being brought up a lot. So that's why I let them up. That's literally the only reason. Yeah. So I just want to make that very clear. And I see Ash in the box. I see, but give me a second, guys. Go ahead, Mayo. Ash, give me a second. Go ahead, Mayo.
So the last thing I wanted to say, and I'll hop off just so Ash can come up, or whoever can come up, is that Nuggets, legitimately, I need you to know this while I'm talking to you more face to face than we did in DMs or in videos and in anything, is that I'm going to reiterate again. Maybe this was wrong of me, whatever. I need you to know I legitimately looked up to you as we're all going to look up to people who are doing in text. I want to be able to talk, because I feel like that would be productive, because I feel like we both have same end goals. We're both talking about the same shit. We're both white. We're both talking about things that at the end of the fucking day don't affect either of us directly, individually speaking, right? And so I think as people who are both mildly at this point influential in these conversations, we're up on lives like this, we need to have some sort of communication. It's ineffective if we're blocked and fighting and I'm upset or you're upset because of something that's happening. So that's my last thing. I'll let Ash up, but that's all I wanted to say.
All right. Kelly, any last thoughts? Because I gotta add two people that's been waiting here for a minute to get in.
I can step down. It's nearly 5 o'clock in the morning for me, and I'm
Oh, 5 in the morning.
enjoying.
Good
Yeah,
God.
I'm in Scotland, but
Oh,
and I'm really enjoying listening to Voodoo Bay's perspective. So I'd like to continue learning in that process.
I
I'm
followed
gonna,
you, by the way. So.
I was just about to say I'm gonna add you a quick follow because I appreciate your time and your education. Ash, thank you. Patrick, thank you so much for having me on. I really do appreciate the time and the space and the energy that you are giving to this. That needs to be acknowledged. And flowers for you. All of the flowers. Pick your favorite flower. You can take all of them.
me?
Yeah, all the flowers. Take them all. You get all of them. Nuggets, I wish you luck on your growth. I wish you luck on your education. I wish you luck on your humanity. And that's where I will leave that.
All right. No doubt, Callie. We're gonna holler, City of Squalor. All right. Go ahead. Kalasi. I can't pronounce.
And you get to say that.
Oh,
Passing?
sorry.
I hate the fact that this app had completely changed it to where like my username doesn't show up, so people are like, I don't know who you are, so it's okay. But I'll be quick, but because I wanted to come in and just say that like I mean I don't need an apology because I totally understand why my name is being out there. That comment, like I understand my place. And I understand that words can cause harm, and I'm more than happy to apologize for my part in this because I mean, it was out of place. So I am sorry. But this has to be said. The last video that showed up that Nuggets had done, every single one of us have children. And every single one of us are on the autism spectrum or part of the neurodivergent community. We have all been affected by this. And all of our children are part of this community as well. And I don't know, it's not well known, but we only get things taken away from us. We do not, people think that, you know, we get benefits or anything like that. We only get things that are taken away. And that includes just putting our children at risk. I can't explain how hard this is because the system against us is extremely abusive, and I refuse to enter my children into that system. It hurts them and harms them. And unfortunately, that puts us as parents at risk because we are considered negligent by not putting our children in this abusive system. So we can't be on this app openly neurodivergent, having our children be openly neurodivergent, and having our names plastered for 225,000 followers. I'm okay with not having an apology. And I understand that I helped continue this mess. And that was, of course, you know, there's impact and intention. And of course I can say that this wasn't my intent. I never meant to hurt Breezy. I've always really loved her and respected her, and I loved Nuggets. I had shared so many videos of the two of you. I respect you both. I I just need I I don't know. I just need to put in perspective that this harms everybody involved and our children. That's all. You don't have to apologize to me. I appreciate you, Nuggets, for standing up for Breezy. You were just for Breezy. Like, I totally get that. Because you love her.
Baby, you're
Why
breaking
wouldn't
up.
you? You were
You're
passionate.
really bad. Can you hear? The username is Soul, right? Like Soul Korea,
Soul Assassin.
Soul Assassin. Oh, that's what it is. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Soul. Yeah. Your thingy was breaking up really bad. You there?
Yeah, I'm here.
You may have to mute and then unmute. I think that's what Nuggets was trying to say. Yeah, you got to mute and unmute. There you go.
Can you hear me now?
Way better.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. I'm sorry. I don't know where I was at when I was talking. I just want to make sure that everyone's safe, and I really want this to end. This has really dragged on for so long, and so many people have gotten involved. And Patrick was involved too. And like, am I still breaking up? I'm sorry.
No, you're not breaking up. I was like, me. What'd I do?
No, I mean, like, you were brought up in Nugget's video, and so that was why I was like, so many innocent people are getting involved, and I just want this to end. You know what I mean? Like, it really has dragged on for so long, and this forward. But that's all I had to say. I really appreciate you letting me on.
You're welcome, baby. You're welcome. All right, Ash, floor is yours.
Yeah, first, I wanted to say, like, earlier when I came in, as everybody saw, I was kind of hot. So if my demeanor, because I know a lot of us deal with a lot of different things, if my demeanor kind of, set some people off, I do apologize for that. That's something that me and my partner work on. We both got shit that we, deal with or struggle with. So that's something that I'm trying to be more cognizant of, because I'm not always. So if that was the case for anybody, self-love, I hear you. I do apologize for that. Second, I said it in the comments, Voodoo Bay. I'm not sure if you were able to see it. You have made several valid points the time you've been in the box, and I definitely need to sit with them and think about them and think about how I can, what's the word? Damn, babe, I wish you were in here. You're good at this game. Think about how I can implement them into my thought process and actions. So I do thank you for that. I followed you for a while, and I'm gonna keep doing it because I learn from you, and I appreciate that. The way that you educate is how I learn. So I appreciate that. I did want to say,
I'm fine.
Also, Pat, bro, thank you for doing this. Please take care of yourself.
Right. That part.
Please take care of yourself. But yeah, I feel like it's a little bit unfair to say that I brought something up that was settled when I was spoken on, and I was kind of one of the central pieces of that. Yeah, I feel like that's a little bit disingenuous and a little bit unfair. I didn't speak to the situation between those two women. I fully believe that they absolutely deserve that conversation, that space, and that time. That was something that absolutely needed to happen. But I do feel like it's a little bit unfair and quite a bit disingenuous to say or imply or insinuate or hint that I can't speak on the overarching situation when my name and my actions were the centerpiece of that. Not the centerpiece, but a very integral part of that. Not to mention the fact that, I'm sorry?
From my point, Ash, I was only speaking about that specifically. About
Oh no, I understand.
The women and whatever the whatever your other arching, because I don't know all of the details, right?
Mm-hmm.
So whatever other parts that you were involved in, you absolutely have the right to speak about. The part I was saying had already been resolved was between Booker and Bree. That
absolutely,
alone. Yeah,
absolutely, I hear you. But I do want to make the point that understandably and justifiably so, no one is allowed to or should tell anyone how they perceive what they feel is threatening to them. So if they see something and they feel that they have been threatened and they perceive that as a threat, that's absolutely justifiable, and no one has the right to tell them that they can't feel that way or shouldn't feel that way or anything like that. That same understanding and perception and rule goes both ways. Regardless of geography or region or usage, no one gets to tell anyone how to or how they should perceive something. And thus far, that hasn't been a two-way street. And that is a point that really, I feel really needs to be said. But yeah, that was all. I wanted to thank all of y'all, almost all y'all. And, I definitely wanted to apologize because some people did say that they were, they did feel I was a little bit too aggressive. And I understand that. I may be non-binary as fuck, but I am also a fucking 6 foot fucking bearded ass, dude. So like when I come off like that, it has a fucking, it has a perception attached to that. And I understand that. So, I definitely needed to, take some time and chill out for a while. So, also, and this was a really big point for me, y'all in the comments, I really appreciate it, but please stop saying my name and saying that, in conjunction with an apology. I didn't come in here for an apology. That bridge was burned a long time ago. That conversation had an opportunity to be had, namely with the elders. That was the time to address those things. And I would have had no problem given proper counsel and time and guidance from our elders in the appropriate setting to address and possibly give some, it's paused, give some sort of apology if that was warranted. However, that opportunity was flat out, flagrantly, blatantly rejected. So that opportunity is gone. I understand and I appreciate what y'all are trying to say and do in the comments, but please stop. Respectfully, please stop. And that's all.
From apology, Ash, is there anything that could be offered to make some sort of amends or at least clear the water so that people walk away amicably?
At this point, I can't say that. That point was a long time ago, and without guidance and counsel from the elders, I can't speak to that. Me and Anna, we can't speak to that because the request was made, and then it was blatantly and flagrantly disrespected after we had a good faith conversation. So none of us can say that that point has been passed. So we can't speak to that.
Can this be off the app so at least the violence that's happening on the app that spreads further in the community, can that be stopped on both sides?
I'm sorry, can you say the first part again? It cut out.
So I was saying, like, the videos and things that are happening on the app, can this be handled off the app so that videos and things don't continue to be made that essentially affect the larger community? Can that happen?
As far as handling, again, we can't speak to what's handled or how. Without
videos that are made on the app stop on both parts, so that the effect doesn't spread out to the larger community. Can the videos stop? Is what I'm asking.
Okay. Yeah. I hear you. If anyone looks closely, we respond.
Yeah.
We don't shoot first. We've never shot first.
Yeah, that's a question for everybody. That's not just to you. That's to everybody.
Understandable. Yeah. I'm only speaking. I'm speaking for me. And my partner is in the comments as well. We respond. We've never shot first. We've responded to what was said. So, like this last video, I responded to what was said and done. I will always defend my partner and my community.
As you absolutely should.
That depends on the ones doing the shooting. And I would love to give you, especially since you're the one asking the question, I would love to be in a better position to answer that question and give you a better answer. But as it's absolutely.
There you go.
Fair.
That's fair. There you go.
Fair.
That's all I have. I'm gonna go ahead and drop just in case there's anybody else that Marion, hi, I didn't see you up there. I was looking at Voodoo. I'm sorry.
Oh my Lord.
I love you.
That's my bad. I forgot she was up there. I'm so sorry.
I'm gonna go ahead and drop. I've taken up enough of everybody's time. Again, thank you. And yeah. I hope everybody gets some self-care. Take care of yourselves. Pat, I got like 4 inhalers over here. I feel you, bro.
I'm gonna need like 3 of them, bro. Like this shit's wild, B. Like,
do you have any? Like, do you have any?
No, I'm not. I don't have asthma. I'm that nigga. I don't have asthma. I don't have no medical issues. I'm perfect. I'm a god. Like, are you kidding me? I'm joking.
Okay, but like, do you need one?
I may need one. Yeah.
Okay, you got my number. I'm gonna bro, text me your address. I'll just mail you one.
Yeah, thank you. I got you, bro.
All right, I got you. All right. Again, thank you. I'll see y'all later.
Talking to you.
All right. What's up, Marianne? Go ahead, baby.
Hey, Patrick. I hope you're doing well. So for those of you who don't know me, my name is Marion. I'm a proud Indigenous woman of Australia. I just wanted to come on here real quick to address nuggets and nuggets alone. I want to know why you blocked me after Sunday when I was in your live. So Sunday Australia time. Even when I've done nothing to you. I was disrespected in your live a few weeks ago by an Indigenous man, a native Indigenous man, and then I was disrespected by a black woman, a black American woman in your live. I have done nothing. I've said nothing. I have not addressed you. For those few weeks, I have not addressed you. And then when I jumped into your live to ask you a question about what were cheesy fries and you explained it to me, I find out that I got blocked.
Okay. I want to address all parts of the things that you just mentioned. First and foremost, thank you for addressing me. In regards to your being disrespected, I want you to know that I did not agree, nor do I co-sign the violence that was levied at you in that live. I want you to know that. I have spoken to several creators, mutual or otherwise, in regards to some of those individuals for platforming them. I don't want to get into specifics as to all the things that happened. But I had to learn a great many things about what was transpiring both on and off the app. And again, I do have to apologize for platforming some of them and for exposing you to that and exposing others to it and the trauma that it caused. And earlier in this live, I apologized for the trauma that I very insensitively did not recognize that next day. But also, I want to make it very clear that I understand the trauma that was caused, and I in no way want to diminish that. I acknowledge that completely. And I absolutely do not agree with how you were spoken to or how you were spoken down to. And then to address as to why you were blocked, I honestly wanted that dialogue with you. And out of desperation, when I saw a certain group of people that were in a live, I got scared because of the situation that is going on in real life. And I'm gonna be honest, I conflated you with that. And it is out of fear that I did that because I was in fact scared. You did not harm me in any way in that live. You weren't in any way disrespectful. I enjoyed our dialogue, but it was because of fear. And I apologize that caused you offense. And that I conflated you because throughout several conversations, with Carnival Gal, with Kay, and all these other things, we got upset.
It is going to take me a bit of time to forgive that because I questioned myself. I was made to feel like I had to question myself as to why I was blocked by you. Even when I did nothing wrong. Like after that first live that happened, I wanted to call you out so badly, but I'd spoken with elders because I was angry. I was hurting, not only at the fact that I was disrespected, but my entire country was disrespected. Entire country. And I had to do some healing for myself because of the amount of hurt and pain that myself and my people were feeling. And it hurt even more, even after we had that interaction on your live. It hurt even more to find out that you had blocked me when I did nothing wrong. And I wanted to know if it was me that did something wrong. Because if it was me, I wanted to know so I could be able to fix it. I don't want you to get I don't want you to feel like you're attacked. I don't want you to feel like you have to defend yourself constantly. That's not what I'm asking. That's not what I'm wanting for you. I don't want people coming after you. And I'm going to make this entirely clear for people in the comment section. Do not go do not come for this woman. Okay, because that is not what I'm about. I don't want people to feel like they need to be constantly under attack of mistakes that they have made. I want that to be extremely clear to everybody.
Itty bitty, I am going to get into specifics. There is a lot that I learned in that moment where You So Devious got in that live and spoke on behaviors of a certain individual. And there were moments where I became increasingly more and more uncomfortable because of messages and things that were going off on my phone. And I wasn't checking emails or anything, but there were messages being sent. And I became more and more uncomfortable because Devious was not bashing their character. They were talking about behaviors, specific behaviors that person was going across this app doing. And things started to kind of dawn on me, even without proof and things like that, that something is wrong. And I was realizing that in that moment. And the moment that I typed their name into that search bar, I saw several Aboriginal creators on this app being called out of their name, being erased of their identity. And it wasn't even just Aboriginal, Indigenous people. It was Arab people, and this has been going on since March. That video was from March. And I had no idea. And when I'm apologizing for platforming that, that is when it hit me that understanding what people were saying when they were saying, like, you're co-signing this person and all the things that they were talking about. I did not know. I genuinely did not know the violence that was being levied at your community. And I am genuinely sorry, and I want you to know that I in no way co-sign that behavior. I don't agree with it. I am vehemently against it. And I apologize because I exposed people to that on my platform. Whether I knew it or not, I exposed people to that behavior.
Okay.
I understand where you're coming from. My people, we come in all different shades. And no matter how many times we constantly have to defend our identity, our blackness, our indigeneity, we cop it from a large portion. And I do apologize if I'm in any way being disrespectful, but we do cop a lot of it from Black Americans. And it's not all Black Americans, it is some Black Americans, because they continuously question us. They continuously invalidate us of our blackness, of our indigeneity, and we are tired of it. I'm tired of it. I want it to stop because it hurts my community. It hurts my nation. We have copped so much shit. Ever since colonization, we're copping it from non-Indigenous people. We're copying it from Indigenous people. And we shouldn't constantly have to keep defending ourselves. A few weeks ago, we weren't even allowed to sit at this table. We weren't even allowed to have a say. And now that we finally get to have a say, we're still being invalidated. We're still being shut out. How is that fair? Like, honestly, how is that fair? How is the fact that we're constantly having to get questioned, corrected on our blackness? And for that particular individual, she has done nothing but cause so much hatred, so much hurt, not only on quite a large amount of people in this live right now, but on my people, my country. And I'm still fucking fuming from that. I want to call her out so badly, but I don't want to feed her. I don't want her to feed into that attention, because I know she's only doing it for clout. But she continues to hurt my people. Because we're not dark enough. We're not good enough for her. We're not Afro-Indigenous, but we're not Afro-Indigenous. I am not Afro-Indigenous. I'm Aboriginal, Australian. I am just Indigenous. Yes, I am dark-skinned, but I don't look at it like that. I don't look at myself based on colorism. A lot of people, we all need to sit down. We all need to listen to each other. We all need to heal from this. Because how are we supposed to heal if this continues?
Go ahead, Breeze.
Nugs, I'm gonna wait for Nugs to respond. Marion, I followed you after the live. I didn't know Nuggets unfollowed anything like that. I did follow you after that live. In terms of the platforming that Nuggets was just talking about, I myself also want to apologize. Tough situations that there's a lot. What is it being experienced on the app is being experienced on the outside, and there are positions that certain people are being put in beyond their role. I'm very sorry. I did not. I didn't see, and I am grateful for those that kept pushing and pressing. And now that I can speak, I want to say thank you from my own mouth to Travis for coming into that live and giving me the opportunity and offering me a place for me to see it. I see now how that triggered somebody because I had the ability to see what people were trying to show me or tell me. And I am grateful that he gave me the opportunity to connect with him off the app to send me. After that live, I think it all kind of hit that I would be able to see what was happening to you guys. And a lot has happened since then in regards to solidifying. There are some people that are being put in a position where they can't talk. And I'm just sorry that I did not, or I was with or under something that I could not see. So I'm sorry that that was levied at you guys. You didn't deserve that at all. And more will come after regarding this situation, so people can understand exactly what exactly was going on, because I don't think people have the slightest idea the magnitude of who's involved and who was being beat. The scale of that, when it does, people will understand. It wasn't just me and Nuggets.
And maybe a private conversation between you two should happen off this app.
I think so, Marion. If you are open to that, I would be happy to speak to you, and so you can see and at least be the one to give some relief to your community so they can understand. We can talk off that, and I'll talk to you candidly so you can see everything that was happening. What's happening?
Mm-hmm. I just want you and both Nuggets to know that I hold no hate towards you. I hold no hate at all. And I don't want you guys to feel like I have some sort of vendetta against you at all. What you went through, Breezy, I am so incredibly sorry. And I wish I could do more. Because you and quite a few others received so much hate. And I honestly do wish I could do more to help you all out in that particular situation. I wish I could, just be there and be able to explain to you as that you don't deserve that. None of you deserve that at all. And I don't want you guys to feel like you are being attacked. I don't want that at all. And I don't want people to do that. I hold no hate towards you, and I appreciate you both being here where I could address this particular situation that I wanted to address. And Patrick, I thank you so much for allowing me to come into your space and letting me speak. I have to go because I've got to go and pick up my kids from school. So thank you again, Patrick, and I hope you are well.
Now, when we're all done with this, and then we can connect, and I can send you the stuff so you can see.
Yeah.
And
thank you.
Marian, I wanted you to know that I unblocked you. I just wanted you to know that I unblocked you.
Thank you. All right. Bye, guys. Have a good one.
Have a good night. I just hopped on. I see Pat's really tired. I just hopped on here to close out a couple of things. You guys already heard. I know there's probably new people in here, but we already stipulated, or I gave my opinion on what needs to happen. I don't, as a unit, me and Nug is a unit, but as somebody with, I don't think that Nuggets needs to be in this arena or space. Personally, I don't see that as beneficial. I'll be really candid with you guys. I spoke today. Compared to you, I feel small, real small, because your whiteness, and this standard for white people, it just takes over the whole picture. And it don't matter what's going on, it would just take over the whole picture. And I've been very angry at like the disappearance or smalling of Black in this whole thing. It's just like Black's just been like pushed, and I understand why. We cannot be bigger than them in spaces like this. And that's my opinion. That she gonna do what she want to do. Like I tell everybody move autonomous. I don't care if you my mom, my dad, you got autonomy. Do what you want to do. My personal opinion, it's just not the space. You got your family, you got your Black women friends, you got your Black friends that are on the app that you can kind of like, it needs to seek kind of deep somewhere, because like it's not app stuff. This app stuff is just, you're not ready for like this type of space. So
well, I'm grateful for this space, for this time, and for all the things that happened during this live. Breezy, you know I always 10 toes. And you know,
black.
you already know. I'm gonna say it every time. Black women, blackly, black women every time, all the time, every time. And so there was a lot of, healing and bridges that happened tonight, and that was the goal. And so I think we met some of those goals. And that makes me happy.
Good night, Carnival Gal. Have a good night.
Wait, what? That's backwards.
What did you say? I can't what?
I can't leave. You can't leave what?
She can't leave. It won't let her leave.
Oh, it won't let her leave. Okay, gotcha. I got you, Nuggets.
Yeah. Just one thing. We already addressed it. The Black women that were in here held space and we addressed it. If you're not Black, please stop talking and listen. If you have a Black woman on your page and you are dogging or doing anything to drag, I don't care what, anywhere you come from, please take her down. This is the movement right now where we're not going to be doing that. So Nyax or Neox or whatever your name is, because you are unaware of certain things that are very serious that are happening off this app, in regards to what video you have on your page you're talking about, I would advise you take it down. I'm sure Voodoo Babe would say the same. You don't need to be doing that. But like I said, everybody's autonomous. And then you get self-agency, and then you deal with the consequence of your self-agency. I'm just saying it's dangerous. Just like we have established that it's dangerous for Nuggets to do it. If you would present as white and the same privilege and power you would have over a Black woman, and you do that on an app and you push that out, just be fully aware that you are pushing out violence every single time. Establish that for everybody on here that would have the privilege and present power of whiteness over a Black woman. Period.
You did an excellent job, Pat.
Did I? You
did good. This was good.
I did.
It was very good.
I feel like shit. I'm definitely gonna go.
I'll do some work for you. I'm doing spirit work. So I'll do some work for you. Be better in the morning.
Walgreens is gonna be my best friend tomorrow. That's all.
I'm autism.
Child, I feel like shit. I want everybody to give a shout out to Kim. She was, sitting there supporting me. You know what I'm saying? Let me post this live for all these hours when I was supposed to spend time with my baby, and I feel so bad.
Thank you, Kim, for loaning
These
me
are
for the evening.
all right, so hopefully we can all have some changed behaviors. Me specifically get introspective. A lot of apologies went out, sorries went out, accountability held. We're going to keep growing. A lot of us are reconnecting to, talk about this in spaces that are not going to cause harm to communities. And I can only blow out do the same so we can stop all hurting each other.
I also want to give a big shout out to all the moderators that has been like literally trying the absolute best to keep this live afloat and maintain. So you guys know exactly who the moderators are. I don't want to hear you don't know who they are. You know exactly who they are. Their cash apps are in their bios. Please compensate them. Don't worry about sending me no damn cash apps. Send it to them, please and thank you.
Yes. And everybody that's watching on the app right now, we all have healing. We've all established we want violence. If you see videos that are perpetuating the same violence, and you've already said this needs to be squashed, leave their comment section dry. Bars.
Thank you. I see y'all in the comments. Thank you.
Also,
I'll call you. All right.
I'll say this as well. I'm looking at the comment section, and after everything we've been through for like the past 6 hours and all the healing that I believe has happened, I know it's not perfect. I know it's not complete. I get it. But I'm still seeing a lot of anti-Black and anti-Indigenous women comments in this comment section. And I've seen it so much that now I'm mesmerizing your usernames. I'm asking you very nicely to please stop, or I'm going to annihilate you because it's starting to it's like it's almost pathetic at this point. Like, I'm seeing a couple Indigenous women being very anti-Black to Breezy, and I'm seeing a lot of Black women being very anti-Indigenous to all the Indigenous creators that was on this live. Please stop. It's corny. We are too old for this. We are grown as hell. We have a common enemy. White supremacy is the common enemy. We need to focus on that, not tear each other down because one part doesn't feel like they weren't heard enough, or the other side feel like stop. Please. If I'm not gonna say it, if Voodoo Bang gonna say it, somebody gonna say it. So it might as well be one of us, especially the anti-Black woman part. Remember, I love my Indigenous sisters, always, but Black women come first on my platform. Respect that. I will always take up for a Black woman first. I don't care what that Black woman did. I will take up for a Black woman first against anyone that is harmful or disrespectful to a Black woman. White people, Asian people, and that also includes Indigenous people. I want to make that very clear. We are very pro-Black women over here, but that does not mean that we are anti-Indigenous.
Fact.
Please be better, yo. I'm gonna have to fuck off this live and I'm going to sleep.